Hey there everyone, Hitesh here and welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about channels in the golang. But before we go there, first a big shout out to all the people who have supported me at pro.learncodeonline, and it's really your love and support that I was able to put up this series. And in this video you are going to realize a lot of things about the golang and some tricky bits as well. So let's talk about the channels. Now, why do we need channel? Now, let me aware you that if you're watching this video directly and you see that I have been writing code for a while, I understand the loops and the conditionals and the function syntax. I just want to know what's special about the channel in the golang. My dear friend, let me break it to you, you won't be able to understand it. In order to understand the channel, you need to at least watch this entire section from start to the finish, because this is where the beginner's problem actually comes in. You just follow any random video and you don't follow the structure, and thus you struggle to learn. Having a proper syntax to learn something is really important. The reason why I'm saying this is because in the previous video we discussed that if we have multiple Go routines, these Go routines can actually access to a single memory. Let me show you by opening up that exercise file. So in this one we saw that we have this Go routine and we have another this Go routine, and all of this Go routine are struggling to access or to write this memory, and we solved that issue by using the mutex. Okay, fairly 100% valid syntax, but sometimes it is not feasible that you declare a global variable or you use database to write a value. Your Go routine just go up in the internet, picks up some or do some operation, picks up values, add that entry into the database, and then your Go routines start another that. Maybe they can hand off some of the information on the go so that they can actually optimizely or more better perform all of that. And this actually brings us to the topic of the channel. Now, right now, this Go routine has no idea that this Go routine is out in the market. Surely you can say that this wait group is there to make it aware, but wait group is just a management here. Wait group doesn't tell this guy that, hey, there is another guy which you are waiting for. It says nothing about it. It says, hey, you just do your job, send me a done signal, and I'll take care of the rest. And this actually brings us the topic that why channel comes in. Channels are a way in which your multiple Go routines can actually talk to each other. They will still not be aware of what's happening inside that or what long it's going to take another Go routine to finish up the job, but maybe you are waiting for just some signal or just some information from another Go routine, and you don't need to come back and finish all of that, and you can do it on the go while the thread has not completed the execution. So that is why channel comes in. And channels are a really interesting topic, a really head banger for a lot of beginners. So I'll show you that what I mean by that and how it goes on. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I've already created a file. I have initialized the Go mod. If you're watching this series for this long, I'm pretty sure this shouldn't be an issue for you. So let's go ahead and fall into a lot of errors. Yes, there is going to be a lot of error in this video, and you need to see these errors because understanding the channel is not at all possible without seeing these errors. So let's go ahead and say that this is all about channels in Golang. And of course, I'll put up a website name as well, learncodeonline.in, and N can be lowercase. Yeah. Okay, no big deal. We have got all of this. Save this. Now, how do we create a channel? Now, creating a channel is not a big issue. It is like the most super easy thing. We can go ahead and say this is my channel. And the way how we do it is just like this. You can use new, but that's going to give you a couple of errors. So usually everybody use make. And you can use make to create integers or any data type. I chose to create a channel. So I'm going to go ahead and say I want to create a channel. But you cannot just go ahead and say I created a channel. Channel are a way or kind of a pipeline through which multiple Go routines interact, and you need to define that what kind of values you will be passing on between each other. Is it integer? Is it a string? The application where I worked on, we were passing on everything into the integer. And this is the case that you'll be seeing majority, but again, nobody is stopping you to put strings into that or any other data type or even your custom data type. So that's totally allowed. Okay, once that is being done, let's go ahead and put some values into this one. So how we're going to do that? We're going to go ahead and say that, hey, my channel, I would like to push a value into it. And this is how you push a value into this one. Let's just say I want to push up 5 values into that. And yes, this is a little bit confusing that are we going to use the arrows like this? And I'm pretty sure some of you might have seen these kinds of fat arrows and all of that in JavaScript. Yes, it's almost kind of a similar, but the difference is the arrow always points towards the left in the Golang. You will never see this kind of arrow. This is not even present. Yes, I looked into that. I thought it is available, but it is not available. Okay, so this is all done. Let's go ahead and say, hey, I want to now print this channel. Now you might say how we receive values from the channel. Now this is again where it gets a little bit confusing. You use this arrow first and then you provide the channel name. There we go. Now let's go ahead and save this one. Okay, what is going to happen? Now, I know this is really confusing, these errors, that which one is saying get in or get out values. Again, I still get a hard time in understanding that, but you can see this channel as kind of a box and this arrow as somebody sending value inside this box. And when you use this something going out of the box, then value is going out of the box. I'm trying that, but it is still giving me a hard time. Now this is an error, by the way, if just wanted to make sure that you are aware of it. We created a channel perfectly fine. Our compiler is not barking at us and we are having this printf statement. That is fine, but this is going to run you into an error. So let's go ahead and say go run main.go, and we see the classic and the most famous notorious error in the Golang, which is the deadlock. So these are blocking routines or a blocking kind of error. So what is happening? The channel works in a similar in this way. The channel says, hey, I'm only allowing you to pass me a value if somebody is listening to me. And this is a big problem statement, because it is saying that if somebody is listening to me, then only I'll allow you to pass on me a value. So this is kind of a chicken egg problem that, hey, you are saying that I cannot pass a value into a channel because the guy who is listening to my channel is on 11. So you might say, hey, I want to just flip up a line here. So now I'm listening onto this line 10, but the value is coming up onto line 11. So again, if I go ahead and save this and try to run this one, again, you're going to see a deadlock. And this is where brings us the question that yes, you can create a channel, but you cannot utilize the channel unless you have studied the Go routines and how to access memory and all of that. That's why I say it is very important that you follow some kind of guided structure to learn anything. You can go all wonderland on that. Okay, so what is the solution of that? That brings us to the statement that we can comment this first. And the solution of this is to create Go routines and understand and have a detailed talk on that. But whenever we are creating Go routines, wait groups needs to come in, because without wait groups, you get the idea, the same problem we faced. It doesn't wait for the main method to end, and you get the idea. We have already discussed a detail on that. So let's go ahead and use and create a pointer from this wait sync package, actually. Sync.wait group. There we go. And now this wait group is being created. Let's go ahead and create a Go routine. Again, the same Go routine without any name. There we go. And we'll execute that. And since we want to pass on two values into this, the first is going to be channel. So let's go ahead and say I want to pass on an integer type of channel. And of course, you will be passing on wait groups. Otherwise, why we have created that? So we'll say that we'll pass on a wait group to you. This will be a pointer from sync.wait group. So there we go, nice and easy. And we'll be saying that whenever we are going to call this method, I'll pass on this my channel, and I'll also give you an access to this wait group. Now let's go ahead and create two channels, at least two, because the first one is going to be responsible for receiving the value. The second one will be responsible for putting values into the channel. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing that I would like to do here is just the basics. So wait group will say, hey, I'm adding some values. Let's just say I'm adding two Go routines. And don't forget that at the end of the main method, you need to say, hey, wait for my guys. They are just coming in. And once I go into this one, I'll say that at the very end of it, I'm all done. Okay, we can copy this line and paste it up here as well. So at least now basics are all done. Our Go routines are properly configured and all of that is working fine. Now, can I go ahead and add values into the channel and receive the values in the channel? Okay, let's go ahead and try that out. I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, wait group, not wait group, hey, channel. So we're going to say into this my channel, let's go ahead and add a value. So how do we add the value? With these guys. Yes, this still bothers me. So there we go. And let's receive the value onto this first one. So I'm going to say, hey, I want to print it out. And this time we want to get value out of the channel. So out, and we are going to say my channel. So hopefully in theory, this should work now. And this will, so no problem in that case. Let's go ahead and work with that. And we see that we are able to pass on the value into the channel. We are receiving the value into the channel as well. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is a nice start, but let's go ahead and try a little bit more of the stuff. So we're going to say that, hey, This time I want to just not pass on one value, I also want to pass on another value. What if I want to pass on another signal, which is 6? What is going to happen? Can you imagine? I'm just getting this value up here. So will it print 5 or 5, 6? So in this case, what's going to happen, since this channel is like really interesting stuff, it's saying, hey, you know what? I'm passing you 5 and you're listening to one value. It's very one tiny value that you can pass on. If you try to pass on too many values, again, I told you, if somebody is saying that I will pass you a value, there should be a listener who will be listening to the value. If I go ahead and try to run this again, this obviously will give me error that you're passing me 2 values, but only one guy is listening here. So you can go ahead and obviously fix that by having 2 listeners who are consuming that value. It basically flush out that value. But there are cases when you don't want to have that, and probably this same listener is going through into a loop and is trying to get all the values out of the channel. In that case, you can use a buffered channel. And here you can say comma 1, which should be fine because 1 is a default value for the channel. And as soon as you say, I want to add one more value of it, this is not going to consume it, but at least it will not fall into error. It will say, hey, this is allowed. This guy has already said that I'm using a buffered channel, and you can go 5 or crazy, whatever you like. Okay, so this is all good. We're going to just go stick to, let's just say 2. For some reason, we pass on the 2 values. Okay. So this is the basics. Now you know that how the channel works and all these stuffs, but there is a little bit more onto these channels. So channels can also be closed as well. So you're allowed to close the channel, that I'm all done with the channel. Now I want to just close it out. And yes, you are totally allowed and fine to do so. So you can go ahead and say my channel. I want to just go ahead and say I am going to close you. Close. There we go. So you're allowed to go ahead and close all these channels. My bad. This is a wrong syntax. Sorry. And this needs to go like this, and my channel, there we go. So now you have closed this channel, but remember, you have passed on the value first and then you are closing the channel. So what is going to happen? Obviously nothing. In that case, it's fine. But there is no way while you are reading the values that the channel is closed or not. Yes, we have a couple of ways of doing that, but this is all. Now notice here, things get actually tricky when maybe for some reason before even passing all the values, you have just closed the channel and now you're trying to read that. This is obviously go into the panic mode, and you have to decide, or you have to design the methods which accept the situation that we are receiving a special error that we are sending on a closed channel. Remember, we are channel is closed and we are still trying to send some of the values in that, and that is giving us the error. Now listening onto the closed channel is not problematic. So notice here, if I go ahead and comment out onto these, now I'm not sending any values to the channel. I'm listening to that. Now listening is definitely allowed, and it is giving me a 0. And this 0 is like hell of a nightmare. Why is it a nightmare? Because if I go ahead and say, hey, uncomment this, and this time I'm passing you a value of flag of 0, and I run that again, and it says, hey, my bad, sorry, one more time, take 2. Okay, if I go ahead and run this one, it again gives you a 0. So what is the guarantee that the 0 that you are receiving is actually a signal value itself, or is it a message that you are receiving that you are listening to a closed channel? Yeah, that is a tricky, and don't worry, we have a way of how to handle this situation. So notice here, this time I'm passing on. So let's go ahead and move on to the situation where this is all going in and we are listening on to the closed channel. We are still receiving the 0. In that case, what you might have noticed that instead of printing, what you can do is you can actually receive the value up here. So let me show you that. This situation was already thought well by the programmers or the designer of the language. In that case, they actually said that you can receive a value or the is channel open. So yeah, this is a little bit long of variable name, but this is actually allowed you to do so. What you can do is you can just say that I'm trying to listen to a value from this channel, and then you can just go ahead and proceed. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a little bit space, and you can go ahead and proceed only if the channel is open. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and just print out all the values. So I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, print me is channel open, and also go ahead and print me these value. Now, this is not a good way to proceed, but I wanted to show you that how this actually works and what value you get. So notice here, I'm receiving a false here. I'm receiving a false, and then I'm receiving a value. You are still going to receive a value 0, but based on this false and true, you can decide that this is 0 is coming up because of the closed channel, or is it coming up because there's somebody who is trying to send you a value. So let me go ahead like that. and uncomment that and try to run it one more time. And there we go. And this time we're receiving a true value. So you know that point that we always do, if the is channel close is true, then only try to read the values. Otherwise we can design the methods a different way. Okay, this is a little bit more, just one more topic I wanted to show you. Okay, so one last thing that I would like to discuss. I know this is a little bit of a long video, a little bit complex too as well, and a lot of information being packed, but just one last thing. Now notice here, we saw that, okay, channels can be buffered or can be unbuffered. That is fine. We got the idea. We can also evaluate the channel is being closed or not, and we can also now consume and send some values on the channel. That is all fine. But notice here there is a strange thing which you sometimes may come up, but Go has actually already thought about it. Now notice here I'm actually closing this channel up here. After sending the value, I'm closing this channel. We already saw that if you close it and try to send it, it creates a panic, and that is not allowed. So that is okay. But what about if I go ahead and copy and accidentally I wrote a code where before even consuming the value, I go ahead and close the channel. I'm totally allowed to do so. And this obviously will create the problem that you just close the channel and then obviously you're going to get into the infinite loop. Now this can actually create some other issues, and that is being well thought out into these Go routines. And you can actually mark these channels, and by default all these channels are like bi-directional. They can send the values, they can receive the values. Nobody is stopping you to do anything. From the above this Go routine, you can even inject values into the channel. That is totally allowed. But if you really want to make sure that you write clean code, that you should also add these keywords or these symbols up here. And in this case, we are going to go ahead and add another keyword onto this one. Now notice here again, I told you channel is a box. So this one means there is a value which is going outside of the box. So this is receiving a value. And this one here at the bottom, this says something is going inside the box. So adding these signature, what it does, it actually makes these Go routines as send only. And yes, only is the keyword here. And this one is going to be just receive only. This is really, really important to understand. And once you do so, then putting up these close statement will automatically give you errors that if the channel is like this, if it is only receive only channel, you're not even allowed to put up a close statement on that. Probably I'm missing or doing some typo or something, but yeah, this is the whole idea, that you are not allowed to have this code. If you try to put this code, this is going to give you an error. So I told you the channels are really, really tricky to work on with, and there is still a lot more that we can discuss on this channel, but I think we are going to keep the entire talk a bit short and bit overview as well. But again, let me know in the comment section if you'd like to see more of that, or just request me something on Instagram. I'd love to make more videos on that. But again, repeating myself again, channel are really, really crucial, and channel are a way how which Go routines talk to each other by passing on these miniature values. In most of the cases, you are not even going to be using these buffered values. You just pass on some flag values into the channel as a yes, no values, and then move on. This is how the structure of an entire application is being designed on the Go. And structuring an application in the Go is a whole another chapter. It's not like your Node application or something that you can just on the go design on the go. That's a topic for another, probably a Saturday live or something. Let's go ahead, and I enjoyed this one as well. I hope you have that one. If you have done that, subscribe would be nice. Otherwise, it's okay. Let's go ahead and catch up in the next video.